Hi, I'm Emma O'Brien, and this month in Hunters of Light, we are talking about printing, and I'm going to be sharing 2 reasons why you should absolutely be printing photos for your clients. So there are 2 main reasons that you should be printing your work for your clients. One is it helps your clients to actually use their images and get really great value from them. And 2, it helps you as a photographer to make more money. So if we look at printing versus digital files, when you are going to do a shoot and you're effectively running with a shoot and burn model, you are going to go do the shoot for the client, and then you will just provide them with edited images to do their own printing. Now, that's all well and good, aside from the fact that you don't know where those clients are going to take those images to be printed. And what happens is if they go to a cheap high street lab, or they're printing on tiny kind of cheap printers at home, that's your work that's sitting there. We don't know about the color balance, we don't know about the print quality, and effectively your work is out there and you've got no control over the presentation options with it. When you start to actually do your own printing for clients and you sell prints to your clients as opposed to giving them the digital files, you're in full control of the end result of your images, and it also allows you to make more money from the photography that you do, because rather than give people a bunch of digitals, you are going to be selling them a limited number of prints. You're going to help them select the sizes, and of course you can put a good markup on that. So printing for your clients is incredibly profitable. So when it comes to selling printing to your clients, often as photographers, we can feel that somehow selling to clients is wrong, or we're ripping clients off by not just giving them the files to do their own printing. And fundamentally, if you can shift the concept of sales as something that's sort of undesirable into a mindset of adding value for your clients and really helping them to use their images, you'll find it a lot easier to go about doing it. So in my photography business, I am geared up around what's called IPS, which is an in-person sales model. And effectively, I will sit with my clients either in person or via Zoom. Also is fine with COVID and everything else. Sometimes it's a bit easier to not be in the same room with people. And you can sit and you can go through the images with your clients. You can get them to pick their favorites, and you can start to ask them, what are we doing with these pictures, and how are we going to be presenting them, and how can I as a photographer best help you utilize the images we've taken. So to get yourself off starting the process of selling printed images to your clients, I've got packages for my clients for my portrait photography that all include some sort of prints in them. So to get started with this, it's all about educating your clients that you are a photographer who is offering them the value of printed products with their photo shoots, as opposed to a photographer who just gives digital files. And once you start educating clients with that and demonstrating the value of what you're doing, I've got lots of framed pictures up on the wall in my studio, so it starts to give my clients the idea of what's possible for us to do with their pictures once they've been taken. It starts to sow the seed there. And I'll also talk to clients whilst we're in the process of the shoot and say to them, what are we thinking of doing with these pictures? What are you going to do with them? Are we printing something for the wall? Are we going to put these in a book? What have you got in mind? And you can start to sow the seeds so people can really start to go away and think about, oh, this is quite exciting. I'm actually the photographer is going to help me with utilizing my images. They're going to really guide me with what I'm going to be doing with them. And effectively, you are then using the process of selling to your client as adding value and as it being of service to them. So when it comes to the sizes of prints you can offer clients, I like to be quite led by what's going to be most of service to a client. So I will ask them to measure up any wall space at home that they've got that they need filling. And I will also ask them if there's anything in particular they've seen that they like. We know when we're doing our own printing, we're able to make images in totally bespoke sizes. So if they've got an odd shaped wall they want to fill, we're able to do that for them. A high street lab can't do that. And then we can also have a look at spaces like going upstairs. And I also help clients if they've got a bunch of pictures that they want to print and put in a photo wall. I'll also guide them with the design and the layout of that. I'll look at what total space they've got to fill, and we'll have a look at the images they've selected, and I can make suggestions of sizes for prints and how we could best fill that space. The more you are able to lead as an expert when it comes to printing your images for your clients, the more they will be like, yeah, that sounds great. We're going to go ahead with that. You're saving your clients time and hassle when you're printing for them like that. And let's face it, we know as photographers, when you give digital files to clients, the majority of the time they sit on a computer. They aren't used, nothing happens to them, the clients don't enjoy them, the laptop crashes, the hard drive breaks, they lose the pictures, and they've invested money in having a photo shoot done, but they're not actually getting the benefit of it. So I think that's one of the really big things to think about when you are making the switch from shoot and burn into a sales model with printing for your clients. So when it comes to working out pricing for your prints, when we're working out pricing models for our photography, we should be taking a cost of doing business into account when we're going through that. When it comes to pricing prints, I see a lot of photographers who charge a shoot fee and maybe they include some digitals, and they'll say to clients, well, if you want some prints, you can have them, but it's 10 Rand for a jumbo print. And what is the point in that? You're not making any money on that. Personally, I like to make sure my images are being printed on a fine art paper, a paper stock that isn't available at a high street lab at a mall. So it makes it a little bit more special for people. We're talking archival quality inks, archival quality paper. We're managing the color, all of those things with our printing. So you've got to take your expertise in printing the images into account when you're pricing it, as well as the time it takes you to go through the images with your clients, to help and guide them where they're going to put the pictures up, the time it takes you to get onto the computer, crop, resize, send images to print, check they're all fine. So we need to be covering our time with that as well. And we also need to be making a profit from that. So depending on print sizes, you can put in a markup of between, I think, 2 and 5 or even 10 times the cost of the actual print, depending on the quality of your work, depending on what you're printing for a client, and the value that they're getting from what you're offering. But the fundamental is that you have got to be making a really decent profit from it. 10 Rand for a print is not nearly enough. It's actually a waste of your own time to be doing that. So for example, with jumbo prints on my price list, I'll charge, I've got mine listed at 125 Rand for one jumbo print on my price list. You might have yours for more than that, might be a little bit less than that, but it does need to be at a point where you are making a really good money from selling that print. So hopefully what I've shared today has given you a really good starting point on the path to profitability through printing.